When we think about rivers and dams, we often picture progress, clean energy, flood control, and water security. But what happens when the very structures meant to protect us start working against us? Today, we're diving into the complex world of small hydropower and why the way we plan, operate, and oversee these projects can make the difference between resilience and disaster. The scene. I wasn't born in the rural highlands, but years of fieldwork have brought me close to communities living in remote valleys. Harsh weather defines their lives. Sun that scorches in summer, storms that flood and isolate entire towns in winter. Here, flooding isn't caused by city streets paved over with concrete. It's the result of days of relentless rain on steep slopes, diminished forests that once absorbed runoff, and a shrinking network of natural waterways. When small dams in the watershed are forced to release water as fast as it flows in, flood on top of flood becomes an all-too-real threat. A case study abroad. On one project I evaluated, this time in the mountains of British Columbia, a 15-megawatt dam sat high above a rural community. Our research, combining hydrological modeling and local accounts, showed that after the dam's construction, the area of land affected by seasonal flooding increased several-fold. Most of that land was farmland, the livelihood of indigenous and rural families. Small hydropower isn't inherently bad. In fact, in places like Scotland or New Zealand, mini hydro plants power isolated communities and reduce reliance on fossil fuels. But when developed without basin-wide planning, without strong oversight, and without community input, they can tip fragile river systems out of balance. The bigger picture. Globally, we're also seeing a shift. The United States has begun removing aging dams, some more than a century old, to restore fish migration and natural sediment flow. The Netherlands, once famous for conquering water with engineering, is now giving rivers more room to flood safely. Even China, after decades of rapid dam construction, has dismantled hundreds of small hydropower plants to revive ecosystems. These choices aren't about technical failure. They're about recognizing that water must be managed with humility, not control at all costs. Solutions. The answer isn't to abolish hydropower. Large, well-managed dams still provide critical flood protection, irrigation, and renewable energy. But small projects need a stricter filter, evaluating not just economic return, but social, environmental, and cultural impact over decades. We need transparent, independent monitoring systems that track dam operations in real time. We need policies that ensure communities downstream share in the benefits, not just the risks. And we must restore the forests and wetlands that act as nature's first line of defense against extreme weather. Water always finds its path. Managed with respect, it sustains life and prosperity. Exploited carelessly, it can wash away not only land and livelihoods, but trust between people and the systems meant to protect them. The next time we build a dam, let's also make space for the river and for the voices of those who call its banks home.